Welcome to Greece, a land that everyone has dreamed of visiting at least once. Drawn in by its sapphire blue beaches, whitewashed villages clinging to the mountainsides, and the irresistible aroma of sizzling souvlaki. But you know what? Behind those picture-perfect scenes, Greece holds countless wonders that few travelers ever get to see. This is a land of breathtaking landscapes, untouched islands, and viewpoints so stunning they feel like you've stepped into a living, mythological painting. In today's video, I'll take you on a journey to uncover some fun and surprising facts about Greece and guide you through magnificent destinations you'll definitely want to add to your travel bucket list. If you love exploring ancient, mystical places like this as much as I do, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of the adventures ahead. Now, pack your bags and let's head to Greece together. Athens. Imagine walking across the very stones where the world's first democracy took shape over 2,500 years ago. As the gentle morning light washes over the ancient marble, it's hard to picture that these statues and temple columns were once painted in bold, vivid colors: cobalt, blues, deep reds, and shimmering golds. Archaeologists have revealed that the Parthenon, now a solemn white icon, was originally a brilliant, colorful masterpiece, visible for miles around like a beacon of art and devotion in the heart of the Mediterranean. Wander down from that sacred hill, and you'll discover that Athens is a city built in layers. A short walk brings you to the ancient Agora, once a lively market square, and the very place where great philosophers like Socrates debated life's biggest questions. Just steps away lies the Temple of Hephaestus, one of the best preserved ancient Greek temples. Though it's often overlooked in favor of its more famous neighbor, the Parthenon, this temple exudes a quiet, timeless beauty, standing peacefully among groves of old olive trees. Evenings in Athens hold their own kind of magic. As the sun begins to set, locals and travelers alike make their way to the top of Mount Lycabettus, the highest peak in Athens. From here, you'll witness a breathtaking transformation as the last rays of sunlight turn the Acropolis into a glowing crown above the modern cityscape. On clear days, you can even catch sight of the shimmering Aegean Sea in the distance and tiny islands scattered along the horizon. The entire city seems to dissolve into a canvas of color and light, a blend of ancient majesty and modern rhythm. Just a 30-minute drive from the city center lies one of Athens' best-kept secrets, Lake Vouliagmeni. This natural thermal lake, created when the roof of a massive underground cave collapsed, maintains a constant temperature of around 24 degrees Celsius, 75 degrees Fahrenheit, year-round. What makes it truly unique is the presence of hundreds of tiny Gara rufa fish, the same little fish used in popular spa treatments. that gently nibble away dead skin as you float in the mineral-rich water. It's a relaxing, all-natural spa experience you won't find anywhere else. For an unforgettable day trip, head about 70 kilometers southeast of Athens to Cape Sunion, home to the majestic Temple of Poseidon. Built in the 5th century BC, this ancient sanctuary stands dramatically on a cliff, gazing out over the endless blue of the Aegean. If you look closely, you'll find a small engraving on one of the columns, left by none other than Lord Byron, the famous English poet, during his visit here in the early 19th century. But the true highlight of Cape Sunion is its legendary sunset. As the sun dips toward the sea, the marble columns glow in rich shades of crimson and gold, creating a scene so striking it feels pulled straight from mythology itself. Mykonos. As you wander through the winding alleyways of Mykonos, you might think this maze of narrow, whitewashed lanes was designed for perfect Instagram photos. But behind the postcard beauty lies a clever defense system, one that once kept pirates at bay and protected the island's people for centuries. The locals knew these labyrinthine paths like the back of their hand, so well in fact they could navigate them blindfolded. Invading pirates, however, would quickly lose their way in the twisting streets and become easy prey for ambush. Right along the water's edge, you'll find Little Venice, with its colorful waterfront houses seemingly floating above the sea. Today, it's the perfect spot for a sunset cocktail, but centuries ago, these buildings hid secret passageways. Smugglers would sneak contraband through these hidden inlets, safely delivering goods under the cover of darkness. The very place where you might now sip an Aperol Spritz once bustled with covert activity. Mykonos didn't earn the nickname, the Island of the Winds, for nothing. The powerful Melissani winds that cool sun-soaked visitors in the summer also powered the island's iconic windmills. Built in the 16th century, these sturdy structures weren't just decorative, they were essential, grinding wheat into flour that fed the islanders and supplied passing ships. Today, those same windmills still stand proudly on the hills, overlooking the island's whitewashed heart, known locally as Chora, serving as silent sentinels of a lively past. If the bustling town center is the soul of Mykonos, its beaches are the heartbeat. Paradise Beach and Super Paradise Beach pulse with energy, music, and endless parties from morning till night. But for those seeking a quieter escape, Agios Sostas offers a slice of tranquility. No beach clubs, no sunbeds, just pure white sand and the gentle lull of the Aegean Sea. As evening sets in, Mykonos' culinary scene comes alive. Freshly caught seafood prepared simply with olive oil and lemon, peppery local Kopanisti cheese, and cozy, family-run tavernas, where recipes have been lovingly preserved and passed down through generations. Just a 30-minute boat ride from Mykonos lies Delos, one of the most significant archaeological sites you've probably never heard of. Once considered the spiritual heart of the ancient Greek world, this sacred island was believed to be the birthplace of the twin gods Apollo and Artemis. So holy was Delos that no one was allowed to be born or die on the island. Pregnant women and the gravely ill were sent to nearby isles to preserve the island's divine purity. Today, you can stroll through remarkably well-preserved ancient homes, temples, and the famed Terrace of the Lions. Rows of marble lion statues forever watching over the sacred site. And unlike other famous ruins in mainland Greece, here you'll find few crowds and a quiet, timeless atmosphere where history feels intimately close. Santorini. Few places in the world capture the imagination quite like Santorini. From the moment you set foot on this crescent-shaped island, you realize you've stepped into a natural amphitheater sculpted by the forces of earth and fire. What most travelers don't realize is that Santorini wasn't always an island. Thousands of years ago, a massive volcanic eruption, one of the largest in recorded history, tore apart a once unified landmass, leaving behind a caldera so immense it seems to swallow the sea. That cataclysm didn't just reshape the landscape. Some historians believe it may have given birth to the legend of Atlantis itself. Today, the towering cliffs of Fira and Oya cling to the rim of that ancient caldera, their whitewashed houses stacked like sugar cubes against the deep blue of the Aegean. And while those sunsets over the water are now Instagram icons, the island's magic is older, deeper, and far more haunting than any photo can capture. In the early morning, before the cruise ships arrive, the streets of Oya are peaceful, lined with domed churches painted in the bluest of blues. Locals tend to their homes and tavernas as cats sun themselves on rooftops. And if you listen carefully, you might hear stories passed down through generations about earthquakes, pirate raids, and the ever-present threat of the sleeping volcano beneath their feet. While most know Santorini for its cliffs, few realize it's also home to beaches of black, red, and even white volcanic sand. Parisa and Kamari offer dark, sun-soaked shores, while Red Beach, with its crimson cliffs and rust-colored sands, feels like stepping onto another planet. As the sun begins its descent, the island gathers at terraces and cliffside tavernas. Glasses of crisp Assyrtiko wine, made from grapes grown in the island's ash-rich soil, are raised in quiet toasts. Dishes of fresh octopus, tomato keftes, and fava puree arrive, each flavored by centuries of survival and tradition. And when the sky erupts in orange, pink, and gold, you'll understand why Santorini isn't just a destination. It's a place that claims a part of your soul. Delphi. High in the shadow of Mount Parnassus, perched on the slopes where earth meets sky, lies Delphi, once considered the very center of the world by ancient Greeks. They believed that here, at the navel of the earth, the gods spoke through a mortal voice. Centuries ago, pilgrims would travel from every corner of the Mediterranean, braving treacherous mountain passes, harsh weather, and bandit-haunted roads, all to reach the sacred temple of Apollo. There, a single woman known as the Pythia, the Oracle of Delphi, would enter a trance. Though time has weathered its columns and cracked its stones, standing among the ruins today still feels otherworldly. The air carries a hush, and you can almost sense the weight of questions once asked. Will my child survive? Will the harvest be good? Should we go to war? Just above the temple sits one of Greece's best-preserved ancient theaters. Its stone seats arcing gracefully around a stage that overlooks the valley of olive groves, stretching all the way to the shimmering Gulf of Corinth. Here, audiences once gathered to watch sacred plays, competitions, and festivals in honor of the gods. A short walk away lies the Tholos of Delphi, a mysterious circular structure whose exact purpose remains a mystery even to modern archaeologists. Its graceful columns now stand partially ruined, yet as dawn's light filters through them, the place still feels touched by the divine. Today, travelers end their pilgrimage with hearty meals in stone tavernas, where locals serve dishes rich with wild herbs from the mountain and olives pressed from ancient groves. The myths remain, but now they're retold over wine and warm plates of lamb and feta. To stand in Delphi is to brush shoulders with both gods and men, a place where fate, mystery, and beauty forever intertwine. In the heart of mainland Greece, where rugged cliffs pierce the sky and mist clings to towering stone pillars, lies Meteora, a place so surreal it feels more like a vision than a destination. The name Meteora means suspended in the air, and it's easy to see why. Massive sandstone spires rise straight from the earth, crowned by ancient monasteries that seem to hover between heaven and earth. In the 14th century, monks seeking solitude and safety from invading armies built their sanctuaries atop these seemingly inaccessible peaks. Back then, there were no stairs or roads. Monks would climb flimsy rope ladders or be hoisted in baskets tied to pulleys, slowly ascending the vertical rock faces. Supplies, and sometimes people, were hauled up the same way, and for centuries, these heights remained untouched by time and turmoil below. Today, 6 of the original monasteries remain active, their red-tiled roofs and whitewashed walls clinging defiantly to the cliffs. Inside, you'll find ancient frescoes glowing in the dim candlelight, telling stories of saints, martyrs, and miracles in colors untouched by centuries. Beyond their religious significance, the views here are utterly otherworldly. From the highest terraces, the entire Thessalian plain unfolds like a living painting. Patchworks of olive groves, winding rivers, and distant mountain ranges. Sunset is a sacred moment in Meteora. As the sky shifts from gold to deep indigo, the monasteries seem to float, their outlines softened by twilight mist. In that hush, you can almost hear the prayers of centuries lingering in the air. Whether you come seeking history, faith, or simply to witness one of nature's most improbable wonders, Meteora will leave you forever changed. A place where stone meets spirit and time surrenders to eternity. Milos. Among the countless islands scattered across the Aegean, Milos stands out not just for its beauty, but for its colors. Brilliant reds, oranges, and whites, painted by ancient volcanoes long before the first sailors arrived. This is the island where Venus de Milo, the iconic armless statue of the goddess Aphrodite, was discovered in 1820. The original now rests in the Louvre, but the spirit of the goddess lingers here, in every curve of the shoreline and every sunset reflected on the waves. The coastline is a masterpiece in itself, sculpted by wind and waves into surreal formations. Nowhere is this more apparent than at Santorini Beach, a landscape of blinding white volcanic rock, shaped into smooth, undulating forms that resemble a moonscape. Under the midday sun, it's like standing on another planet, with the Aegean shimmering like liquid sapphire at your feet. Tucked into tiny coves are old fishing villages like Klima, where whitewashed houses with brightly painted doors open directly onto the sea. These were once boathouses, now transformed into tranquil hideaways for those chasing the simple, eternal rhythms of island life. Zakynthos, known to many as Zante, the island of Zakynthos is famous for beaches so stunning they look almost unreal, and none more so than Navajo Beach, better known as Shipwreck Beach. Enclosed by towering limestone cliffs and accessible only by boat, this crescent of powdery sand cradles the rusted remains of a smuggler's ship, stranded here since 1980. From above, the view is nothing short of breathtaking. The sheer cliffs fall away into a lagoon of impossible turquoise, where the wreck sits half-buried like a relic of ancient myth. Legends whisper that the ship once carried treasures from faraway lands, though its only legacy now is the way it stirs the hearts of travelers who gaze down from the clifftop. Beyond the famous beach, Zakynthos is a land of hidden wonders. The blue caves, carved by centuries of waves, shimmer with an ethereal light as the sun's rays bounce through the water and onto the limestone walls, creating a magical, shifting world of aquamarine. And beneath these waters, ancient creatures still swim. The endangered caretta, or loggerhead sea turtle, has nested on these shores since before Homer's time. If you're lucky, you might glimpse one surfacing for air, a living link to the island's earliest days. Monasteries, cut off from the mainland by towering cliffs and a narrow causeway, Monasteries is a medieval fortress town frozen in time. From a distance, the rocky island appears as an unbroken slab of stone rising from the Aegean. But step through the old stone gate, and you enter a world of cobbled alleys, Byzantine churches, and Venetian mansions, a place where centuries have layered upon one another like pages in an ancient book. Locals call it the Rock, and for good reason. This was a city built to vanish, hidden from invaders, invisible from the sea, and protected by its sheer cliffs. Its name comes from Moni Emvasis, meaning single entrance, and even today, there's only one way in. As the sun sets, the stone walls glow amber, and the distant church of Hagia Sophia, perched high atop the upper town, becomes becomes a beacon. Climbing up its narrow path rewards you with a panorama of red-tiled roofs, olive groves, and the endless shimmer of the sea. In the evening, taverns tucked into centuries-old buildings come alive. The scent of baking bread, fresh seafood, and wild thyme fills the narrow streets. Over a glass of local wine, you'll hear tales of sieges, lost empires, and lovers who once stood beneath the same ancient stones. Hydra. On the sun-drenched waters of the Saronic Gulf lies Hydra, an island where the modern world politely waits at the shore. No cars, no motorbikes. Only the gentle clatter of donkey hooves and the rhythmic splash of oars break the ancient stillness. Wander along the harbor, where elegant stone mansions rise in tiers along the hills. Centuries ago, these grand homes belonged to ship captains and merchants whose fleets sailed as far as Alexandria and Constantinople. Their legacy still lingers in the air, mingling with the scent of salt and sun-warmed stone. The town's cobbled alleys twist and climb in a maze built for foot and hoof. Around each corner, you'll find lazy cats basking in sunlit courtyards, whitewashed chapels with blue-domed roofs, and balconies heavy with cascading bougainvillea. As evening falls, taverns set out simple tables by the water's edge. Lanterns flicker to life, and the clink of glasses accompanies tales of pirates, poets, and revolutionaries. For Hydra was once a key player in Greece's War of Independence. Heroes walked these same stone paths, their deeds forever woven into the island's soul. Thessaloniki. If Athens is Greece's heart, then Thessaloniki is its soul. A city where ancient empires, Byzantine mosaics, and Ottoman minarets stand shoulder to shoulder with buzzing markets and waterfront cafes. Founded in 315 BC and named after Alexander the Great's half-sister, Thessaloniki has been a crossroads for conquerors and cultures for over 2 millennia. Romans, Byzantines, Venetians, and Ottomans have all left their mark, and their stories cling to the stones like ivy. Venture into the Ano Poli, Upper Town, one of the few parts of the city that survived the Great Fire of 1917. Here, stone houses lean over winding alleyways, Ottoman-era mansions crumble beneath wild fig trees, and medieval fortifications offer sweeping views of the Thermaic Gulf. As night falls, the White Tower, once a prison, now a symbol of the city, glows against the skyline. Along the seafront promenade, locals gather to stroll, drink iced coffee, and debate politics, philosophy, and football, just as their ancestors did in ancient agoras. And as music drifts through Aristoteles Square, you realize Thessaloniki isn't just a city you visit. It's a city you feel, where every street corner hides a story, and the past and present walk hand in hand beneath the scent of roasted chestnuts and sea air. And so, our journey through the timeless wonders of Greece comes to an end. From From sun-drenched temples and wind-swept cliffs to monasteries clinging to the clouds, we followed in the footsteps of philosophers, warriors, poets, and ancient gods. But remember, this land of myths and legends still holds countless untold stories. Every stone, every narrow alley, and every wave that brushes its shores carries a tale, waiting for you to discover. If this journey stirred something in your heart, if the call of ancient Greece feels a little louder now, don't let it fade away. Hit the subscribe button so you won't miss our next adventures to other legendary lands. Give this video a like if it made you dream of whitewashed villages, ancient ruins, and sunsets over the Aegean Sea. And share this video with a fellow traveler at heart, because the best adventures are the ones we pass along to one another. Until we meet again in another magical land, may the winds be kind, the wine sweet, and the stories endless.